Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to this second video in this beginner's guide series for Rust. Now we're in a build server at the moment. This is a creative modded server, not the official game. And the reason for this is because when you do play the game, you're going to need to build a base. And it's quite good to be able to get an idea of the mechanics and also practice building a base before you jump into the real game. The reason for that is because in the real game you have to craft resources, which takes time, and there's a real threat of players killing you, which you might enjoy, you might want that, but sometimes it helps to understand the very basics at least. So I come into this creative build server, and a few things just from the UI. At the very top you can see there's the compass. The advertisements and the things on the top left and the top right won't normally be there, and the stuff on the right hand side, the construction deployable cost, that's part of this server, that won't be in the main game. But at the bottom right you can see your health, your water and your food levels. They don't change in this. And then if I press tab, I can open up my inventory. I can see my player, any items I'm wearing, I can create or leave a team. I've got my inventory. I've got my quick bar, which can be accessed using the keys 1 to 6. Quick crafting menu, or I can click here to go into crafting, or I can just press Q, and then this will be all of the items that I can craft with their requirements. And again, I have unlimited resources in this server, so I can just build everything instantly. It's very good to practice. So the first thing we're going to need to do by pressing Q is we're going to need a building plan. This will typically cost 20 wood, and you'll need this, so you'll have to hit a tree a couple of times with your rock when you start. Okay, you're also going to need a hammer. This is 100 wood, but allows you to upgrade. So these are the two things that we're going to start with. You'll also need, when you're in the main server, some wood to get started as well. Alright, so then what we're going to do in order to get building is we're going to go back into the building menu, and we need what's called a tool cupboard. This is very important to have a tool cupboard. So we're going to need this ideally before we start. And we're going to need a door. Now I tend to go for a double door. You could go for a single, but I'm going to go for a wooden double door to get started. And I'm going to need a key lock. If there's only one of you, you're playing solo, a key lock is fine. If you have more than one person, you'll need to upgrade later to a code lock. And a code lock, it allows you to put in 4 digits so multiple people can access the same door. A key lock, you'd actually have to craft a key for people to be able to get that. But for now, this is what we're going to do. And then you'd need some wood to be able to build. Now, again, we don't need resources in this server, but in a traditional server you would need. Tool cupboard is 1,000. And all of these other items as well. So this is 1,000 wood, this is 100 wood, I think this is about 250 wood. So you would need that, it's 350 wood, sorry, for the door. So just bear that in mind. So the first thing we're going to do is press 1, now we have this in our hotbar, and you'll see this kind of blueprint. If I press the right mouse wheel, I'll be able to scroll around this wheel and choose all of these different items. So here we have a foundation, which is either going to be a square or a triangle. A square triangle that we can place will look like this. A triangle foundation, if we left click it, will look like this. And you can see there that the triangle is half the cost of the square, but obviously a smaller footprint as well. We also have floors, which are squares and triangles. We have floor frames, squares and triangles. And then we have our walls. We have a wall, a door, a window. We have a door frame, or a wall frame, which allows us to put double doors in. Half wall, low wall. We have U-shaped stairs, L-shaped stairs, spiral stairs, and then we have a roof. So nice and simple. So all we're going to do to get started here is use this square foundation. Now you can choose how high it goes. There's a certain height where it won't go, and if you do that, you're not going to be able to get in through your door. But also, if you go too low and there's terrain, you can't build into the terrain. So you need to make sure you're on a relatively flat bit of land, and you're going to want to put down your foundation however you want to put it. There's lots and lots of different build options. There's some incredible people out there that have done guides throughout the years that you can use to get an understanding. But to get started, 1 square is all you really need. From here, we're going to add the walls. And you can now snap these into place. So we're just going to do 3 walls around here. And then once you're inside, we're going to do a wall frame. So now we have a wall frame. You're also going to want to put a roof on. And you're going to want to upgrade these as soon as possible. The reason for this is because if I go to my hammer and look, this has the health of 10 hit points, which means I could hit this a couple of times and it would be destroyed. Also, it's good to note that there are 2 types of walls. There's the soft side and the hard side. You can tell on the twig the soft side because it has this X that goes through the middle. This is the soft side. It is easier to hit a soft side than a hard side. The hard side should always be facing out. The soft side should always be facing in. The reason for this is because I can hit this and do more damage, and it will take less durability of my items. So this has 10 health points, which means it can be broken very, very, very easily. So first thing you want to do is always upgrade the foundation first. We're going to upgrade to wood. So here with our hammer, we right click on the foundation. And again, using a mouse wheel, we can upgrade to either wood, stone, metal, or armor. Now we're going to go for wood at the moment. So we upgrade the floor to wood. We're then going to upgrade each of these walls. Also, make sure that you do the door frame as well, because if you don't, that will still be a weakness. So now we have that, we can put our door down. So we press 4 to select our door. You can choose whether the door is facing in or out. I'm going to face it inwards. And we put down our lock. Just left click. And now we have a little base, a little square shack that we can call our own. Now, if someone jumps on the roof, they can see through, so they can see what's in this room. So just bear that in mind, that it does have little peek holes. But at the moment, even though we have this little base, anybody could build next to us. And the reason for that is we need a tool cupboard. A tool cupboard allows us to be able to put this down, and I'm going to put it down in this far left corner. You can put it anywhere, but you want to maximize your space. So I'm going to put it in this far left corner. So you might want to just come to the back wall and snap so you can see where it needs to go, and then move across as far as you can, and you just want to kind of snap it into that corner there and drop it down. Now what you can see in the bottom right hand corner is I've got something called building privileges. Building privilege means that nobody can now build within a radius of this tool cupboard. So tool cupboards are a way of claiming this land to say this land is now my own. Tool cupboards are also the heart of your base. If somebody takes over your tool cupboard, they then own your base. They can control all of your turrets and traps, and also they can build. So this needs to be protected at all costs. And there's many ways you can do that, from hiding it to upgrading the room it's in. You want to make it as hard as possible for people to reach both your loot and your tool cupboard. And most people will put their loot in the same room as their tool cupboard. And it's kind of where people are looking for when they're trying to raid you, which is part of the game. When I open up the tool cupboard, I've got some space here for a hammer, a planner, wire tool, hose tool, and an electrical tool, and a hose tool and a spanner. So those 5 items can be placed in here. Also, all of our resources. At the moment, there's obviously a lot of upkeep in here. If I was to remove all of these resources and take them out, our building would start to decay. You can see that in the bottom right, it says building decaying. Over time, these structures will start to decay and eventually they will disappear. It's a way that if somebody leaves the server or doesn't upkeep their base, it's just a way of those bases not staying forever, which is really nice. So it's a really, really good feature of the game, upkeep, and it does require you to go out and constantly farm so that you've got enough. Now, if we look at what is required here, this just requires 135 stone. So if I select here 135 wood, I'm protected for 1 day. Now, if I go ahead and let's say, grab a little bit more, I'm going to have to grab maybe 2,000. Now you'll see that I'm actually protected for 16 days. So you're going to want to consider with your resources, well, how big is my base going to be? Because if you build a huge base and you're a solo player, it's going to be very hard to upkeep that. So just bear that in mind. Alright, so now that we've got this, we need to look at how do we expand from here. Well, the first thing you're going to want to do is get a box. So we go into our crafting menu, we type in box, and you might want to favorite these as you're starting out. They're good starting items to be able to grab. We're going to build a box. We're also going to want to put a sleeping bag down. So we're going to go ahead and build a sleeping bag as well. Then you're going to want to place these. Now, it doesn't really matter where you place them, but for me, I typically like to put this first box just down here next to this tool cupboard as a starting point. Again, there's no right or wrong way to do it, but this is just how I like to place it. We're going to have to move this later anyway, so it's totally fine for now. But yeah, you want to kind of get it as close as you can to the edge, just so it goes blue. There we go. And you want to try and get it as well so that, there we go, it's clipping in. Alright, and then we're going to put down our sleeping bag, which for now, we can just put anywhere we want, but I'm just going to put my sleeping bag right here for now. As close as I can up against the edge. There we go. And the reason for that is because now you've got your starter base, we can venture out into the world, collect some resources, and we can come back. And we can venture out, claim some resources, and come back. If we get killed while we're out, we only lose a little bit, because the rest of our stuff is in here. Main resources we can keep in this area here, but only limited resources. And then everything else we can keep in our box. So the next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go out, you're going to want to farm some resources, come back, and you're going to want to upgrade your base. Now, if you're coming to your base, let's just imagine you're coming in and you die, and you open your door and you die, someone's got access to your base. So the next thing that we need to do, which is very important, is create another lock. So we did an initial lock, we're going to do a second lock, very important to craft this, and we're going to place this on the tool cupboard itself. You could also put one on the box if you wanted to. It will cost you another 75 wood, but if you do that, you can actually lock the box as well. That way people actually have to come in here and destroy this, and they maybe won't do that at the start. So that's another thing, but they could destroy your sleeping bag, and they are in your base. So the way that we protect ourselves from this is we go back to our building plan, and we build what's called an airlock. And to do that, a simple airlock would just be a triangle foundation with another door. So I can put a wall up here, and I'm actually going to do another double door, and I'll explain the reason behind this in a minute. Why double doors are better than single doors. Okay, so now I'm going to just seal this in the same way as I did before. And then I'm going to put another door on. Okay, so that door is now on. And again, we're going to need another lock. So we'll put another lock on. Now, it's ideal situation, you would have all of this crafted before you start. So you'd make sure you gather the wood, come back, and then build this. So now we've expanded our base. We've got an airlock. We can shut this door. And now, if we open this door and we die, well, they're only going to get into our airlock. They're not going to get any of our loot. So this is the first way to be able to expand your base. And this is all you need to get started. A very, very simple 1 square, 1 by 1 with an airlock. That's all you need. And the upkeep of this is 215 wood. Very easy to be able to do it. Now, the only consideration you need to think about here as you're running this as a starter base is that anybody can come through this wooden door, and with a sword or an Eoka pistol or a Molotov cocktail, they can either burn this down or break through this door very easily. Very easy to break these doors. The same with these walls. They only have 250 health points. The doors have less. So the doors have 200, the walls have 250. Okay, so this is very easy to raid. Also, as I said, people can get on the roof, they can look in. So the next thing we want to do is go out with our tools and get some stone. And you're going to want to upgrade this whole base to stone as quickly as you possibly can. Okay, this is the first thing that you're going to want to do. Upgrade this base to stone. Remembering to get the door frames as well. Very, very important to get the door frames. And don't forget the ceiling. Okay, now nobody can see in anymore. And we have a stone base. This means that outside now, this is impervious to any tools to be able to attack. I mean, they could use a pick, but that's going to take a long time. But overall, we're in a much, much better situation now. However, the doors are still wood. So we need to upgrade the doors. So at the same time as you're finding stone and you're out in the wild looking, you're going to be looking for animals. Animals are going to give you animal fat and cloth. Animal fat and cloth can be used to create a resource called low-grade fuel. You need 50 low-grade fuel so that you can create a furnace. So a furnace requires 200 stone, 100 wood, and 50 low-grade fuel. So we'll go ahead and we'll craft that now. And then that will sit quite nicely in the back corner. Once you have this, you can open it up, you put in some wood, you put in some metal ore. A metal ore you'll have collected the same way as you collect stone. And there are 3 types of nodes, by the way. There is a stone node, a metal ore node, and a sulfur node. Those are the 3 types of nodes that you'll find. Every metal node will give you 2 high quality and the rest metal ore. And then you'll smelt that down in here. So you put in wood, you put in your ore, and the output is charcoal and metal frags, sulfur or high quality, depending on what the ore is. So let's say now that you've got your metal frags. At that point, there's a couple of things you can do. The first thing you can do is come back to your crafting menu, go back to your door, and you can now craft these sheet metal double doors. So we need 2 of these, and then we need to open this door. I wouldn't recommend opening both at the same time. I would recommend only doing one at a time. Start with the inside. Hold down E and unlock the door. Hold down E again and remove the lock. Hold down E a final time and you will pick up the door. Using your sheet metal door, replace it. And that is not the sheet metal door. Yes, using the sheet metal door, replace it. Put the lock back on. And now you have a sheet metal door, which means you are impervious to any fire damage. If anybody comes in, they're going to need to use explosives to get through this door, which now has a 250. And the walls now have 500. Meaning they could pick through, but it would take them forever. Pretty much the only way into this base right now is explosives. And people aren't going to have that at the very start. So at the very start of the wipe, you're pretty safe. Later on into the wipe, obviously, your survivability goes down as people get better gear. We'll do the same thing now. We'll take off this door. You want to do this very, very quickly. You can remove the lock while the door's closed. Open the door. We're going to put the new door on. Put the lock back on very quickly. And now we have a much, much stronger and safer base. Now we're going to remove the things we don't need. As you start to progress and you start to get a bit more equipment, you're going to be able to get another furnace down. Second furnace will fit there. You can fit a second furnace there. You're also going to want to get another box at this point, but this one will get a bigger box. So this bigger box we can craft, and this one will go right here. Sometimes you have to jump on top of the furnace to place it, but you can get it down, and you might also need to just shut the door just to be able to give yourself the space to be able to get this box down, but it will fit here. Again, sometimes just a little bit of messing about to be able to get it done. Sometimes it's easier to put this down before the second furnace, to be honest. But it does fit there perfectly. Okay, so now we've got our box, our other box. We can put another small box here if we need to. It does fit. It's a bit of a mission to get it in with the sleeping bag. You might need to pick the sleeping bag up to do that. Use your hammer, pick up the sleeping bag. You can get the second box down. And now you can, that sleeping bag, it will fit. Again, you might just need to play about. If you're struggling with it, again, you might just need to either shut the door. If that doesn't work, if shutting the door doesn't work, then you might just need to pick the door up to be able to place this. But it will fit in here. Again, take off the lock if you need to. Remove the lock, pick up the door, and here we go. So now this will fit, and then you can put the door back on. This is everything you need for a starter base. This is a very, very good starter base. You've got everything you need in here. Now, you'll expand this later, but for now we've got lots of storage. We've got furnaces. We've got our sleeping bag. The next thing we actually need to do, and this is an important step here, is we need to craft a fire. Now, a campfire has two purposes. One, you can cook the food, and we place it outside here. And the reason for that is that when you use the fire pit, and turn it on, it's going to give you a comfort level. I can't actually turn it on in this build mode. It won't work. But it gives you a comfort level of 50. If there is more than one person by a fire, the comfort level rises to 75. That means if somebody is outside your door camping you, waiting for you to open your door to shoot you, if you turn your fire on before you open the door and someone's here, your comfort will be over 50%. You'll know someone's outside. And just something to bear in mind, it's a very good early warning system to protect you from door campers. Alright, so this is our starter base. This is everything that we need to start. And again, this is in a little square with very little upkeep. The upkeep of this is 200 stone a day and 40 metal frags, no wood. Very easy. So now you'll go out, you'll farm up resources, you'll continue to smelt more metal, you'll continue to do this. And the next stage from here is you're going to want to craft yourself a level 1 workbench. A level 1 workbench. So we're going to go ahead and craft that now. Now you will have to move some stuff about. You'll have to take out this box here. So just bear that in mind. If there's anything in it, you'll need that first to then pick this up. We've got to take the lock off of it to be able to pick it up. We'll take off this as well. So now we've got this space. We've got our workbench. Again, you might need to just climb on top of this furnace to be able to place this. But what we're going to do is we're going to place this just here like so. Okay. Now, if you want to, you can move the sleeping bag out here. I wouldn't recommend it. I would leave it as this as a setup for now. But now you have your tier 1 workbench. If we use this, we can open up our tech tree. And these are all of the items that you can now learn. Now, all of these are learnt because of the menu that we're in, but when you start playing, you won't have any of these, and you'll need to have scrap, and scrap will allow you to learn these. So scrap is kind of the currency of the game. Now there's 4 main tiers to start with here, and you can see these. The first one, so if I go back into this, the first one you can see is the hammer. The salvaged hammer then allows us to unlock the pick, the hatchet and the pick. I cannot unlock this unless I've unlocked the previous item. Unless I find this in the game. If I find it in the game from another player, from a barrel or a box or a crate, then I can research it and learn it myself, and I just need the scrap for that. So for example, if I'm running around and let's say I find myself a revolver, it would cost a lot to be able to learn this. I would have to learn all of these items all the way down here. So I would need about 500 scrap to learn this. But if I'm very fortunate and I find one at the start, then I can come and craft what is called a research table, put that research table down, and for 75 scrap, I can simply learn this, learn the bullet. So for 150 scrap, I can learn this gun and I can run around with a gun and I can craft it. I don't need to spend the 500 scrap learning everything else. That being said, if you're not lucky enough to find one out in the wild, then you can research it. You have a hot air balloon, a paddle into a kayak, spear gun, spears, and then into some defensive. Well, actually no, you don't. The trap goes from a different way. So only this. So hot air balloon, fishing, hatchet. Hatchet goes into some deployables into your base, which is going to be some stuff that you might need. Honestly, I don't bother with any of this. If you want to build an early compound, you can by going down here and getting high external wooden gates and walls, but I don't bother. There's better things to do. Ladders you'll need for raiding later on, and wooden barricades are really good to be able to protect you later on as well. As you're out and getting shot at, you can put one of these down quickly and hide behind it. So these are the only 2 items that I would research. I don't bother with this. I don't bother with any of these unless you're going to go fishing and that's the meta you're going to do. Otherwise, I simply wouldn't bother. I would get your tools because it's really important. You start with a rock. So from a rock to a stone hatchet to a metal hatchet will allow you to gather much quicker. So I do recommend these tools to start with. Clothing, I don't bother. The only thing you're going to need from clothing, nothing else matters because you can craft some basic clothing from cloth. You will want pants. These are actually an end game item in tier 1, but I would only research them when I find them. And also, if you're going to be in the snow, you will want a jacket because it will give you some cold protection. So a jacket is something you'll need in the snow. Otherwise, I simply don't bother with any of this. It's not worth it. If you're going to get into agriculture, then you'll need to go through this, which is your farming. Later, you'll get a bed and a mixing table, which you will need. Mixing table comes in very handy. Again, I don't do this until I find one. I don't bother. And with a bed, you don't really need to craft a bed because you only need one of them. You could craft it later, but you don't need to. Nothing else matters here. And then electrical components. So a switch, a battery and a solar panel allows you to put lighting inside, create automation for your base, and all good stuff here. Now, again, I don't bother with this at the start because for survivability, none of this is important for early survivability. Basic clothes you can craft, so you don't need to worry about this. The only thing you really need to do, apart from your initial tools, is weapons. Crafting your way down to getting hold of the revolver. If you want the satchels to be able to raid early, great, get those. But otherwise, I would be working towards tier 2. Getting your pistol bullet, getting your pistol, maybe a shotgun, because shotgun's also very powerful early on. Water pipe shotgun. But getting those early stage guns. But initially what you'll do, and you don't unlock this, but you need the tier 1 workbench for it, is a nail gun. So when you're looking at weapons, the initial early weapons that you'll have is a nail gun, which is 75 metal fragments and 15 scraps. You'll craft that. And a crossbow. A bow does 50 damage, and you have to wind it. You have to let it go and hit it. It's also got a range of 15, whereas a crossbow has a range of 34 and a damage of 60. So it's a lot better. It's got better accuracy. It's just a better item, but it takes a long time to reload it. So crossbow and nail gun is the kind of meta early game. After a bow, into a pistol, and then you would normally use a crossbow pistol. And then you work towards leveling up your guns that way. So that's what you'll kind of work towards. Now, until you get these items, and again, you need metal pipes for these and other items as well, which are known as components. So as you start to acquire more items and you start to build up, you're going to want to expand. When you get to the point when you're ready to expand, the way that I would do this is very, very simple. You're going to want to put another triangle down on your base. Okay, one more triangle. This triangle, you can use a single door this side and a double door on this side. Okay. Now the reason I do this, and I'm just going to upgrade these straight to stone this time, because you should have resources by now. You should also have your doors and everything ready for when you go. So we're going to put down our double door. And we're also now going to craft a single door. So we're going to go straight for sheet metal. And the reason we're going to do that is because we've already got our furnaces. Now we don't need any more furnaces. We don't need any more of this stuff. We do need the locks, but we're going to assume you've already put the locks down. Alright, so now we're going to assume everything's locked. There we go. So now we have this. Place this door so it opens outwards. It acts as an airlock and you'll see why in a moment. Alright, so now when we're ready to do the last part of the upgrade, all we simply need to do is open up this double door and we're going to put down a square foundation. Now you can't do it with the door open, so you'll have to come out, put down 2 squares and then fill the rest in with triangles. So a triangle here, one here and one here. Now we're going to put another single door down here and the rest is going to be walls. Very simple, very nice, very easy. Okay, then we're going to make sure that we upgrade everything. Again, starting with the floor. Because people shoot the floor out, it removes the walls. Then we're going to make sure we do the walls. Get those done quickly as you can. And then you're going to want to put that door down. And this door, have that opening in. Okay. Next thing you're going to want to do is put the roof on. So we're going to want to go from there to there and there. And then squares for the last 2. Alright. This is a really good example of how to build an extension. And we've done all of this from our starter base. So we haven't had to build... Most people with a starter base, they'll build a starter base and then they'll build their main base. We didn't need to. See, this whole extension here has come from our starter base. We haven't had to build a second base. So now what we're going to do is put another wall down. Now we'll put the soft side this way. And the reason for this... And you can see the difference between a soft side on stone. Okay, if you look here, this is a hard side. You can see the texture, and this is a soft side. It's easier to break through a soft side than it is a hard side. So just bear that in mind. So the reason the soft side is here is because if somebody comes through your front door, let's imagine they come through your front door, they're not going to be able to soft side through this. It's going to be hard side. It's quite important because if they soft sided through that, they would effectively be in this main room. And we don't want that. So we make it a little bit harder for them. So now we have, to get to the tool cupboard now, we have 4 doors that they need to go through. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's if they go directly. If someone is going to raid you, let's say they come along with some satchels and they blow this door. Okay, they've blown this door. They're in. They've got another door. They blow this door. Now the question is, at this point, well, which way do they go? If they need to blow a door, which way do they go? Now they could try and blow here and try and get both doors if they're smart, and they'll blow both doors out. But at the end of the day, if they get in here, you can put more doors down, and we'll do that later. But this door, another door. So 4 doors at the moment, which is becoming a bit more expensive. Now, you might be wondering, why did you do double doors instead of single? Well, the reason for this is when you get a tier 2 workbench, you'll get garage doors. And garage doors have have hit points of 600. Whereas the sheet metal doors only have hit points of 250. So you get more than double the protection. The only other type of door you'll get in this game is an armored door. And you don't get an armored door until tier 3. It's a late game door. You're not going to get armored doors for a long time. Which means that your doors are going to be 250 for a long time. Garage doors are the more secure way to do things. And so as soon as possible, you want to upgrade these 3 doors at the very minimum. These 3 double doors to garage doors at the minimum. And then that is going to secure your base. And you really want to do that on day 1 of wipe. Before you log off, you really want to try and get garage doors. That should be, and then you're a lot more survivable. You've got a lot more survivability. Okay, so now your base, you've expanded it. What to do with this main room? Okay, what do you do now? So, what I would do at this stage is pick up your furnace, because you don't need that here anymore. Okay, everything else can kind of stay in here for now. That's absolutely fine. But we'll bring the furnace into here. And the furnace will now sit just here like this. We can put one there. We can actually get a second one here. And even a third one will fit nicely here. Perfect. Now, to protect this just a little bit more, what we can do is we can actually build a door frame. And then we can actually upgrade this and put another double door on here. Okay, so if they do break through there, there's another door to go through. And we can open this up and we've got our furnaces. Nice. So now we've got a furnace room. What I would do on this side is, first of all, I would build a half wall. That half wall would allow you to place a floor triangle. You can then destroy the half wall. In doing so, you've now got this shelf which you can upgrade to stone. At this point, and only at this point, would I put another door frame on. The reason for this is if you put a door frame on first, you cannot place the half wall. And you need the half wall for the shelf. But now I can put another door on here. I would simply open this up and you can either put a barbecue in here if you want, or you can put some more storage down here. Totally up to you. I typically use this for a barbecue with a shotgun trap. It's kind of a nice little thing to help, but again, you do you. Whatever works. This is just an idea for a base layout. One of the things I like about this well is you can build a box with this as well. So if I've got this, we don't need that anymore. We don't need that anymore. They can go. We don't need that anymore. Perfect. And we don't need furnaces anymore, so they can go. Okay, so now I've got my barbecue. It kind of sits really nicely in the middle. You can even fit a box perfectly underneath it. And if you've got the shotgun trap, which you would have to learn, shotgun traps are something that will come in later. But the good thing about this is if somebody comes in through your roof, and let's say, for example, they're going to try and jump down here, you can, if you're careful, you might need to replace this, but you can actually fit a shotgun trap in here as well. But you would need to just move the barbecue to one side to be able to do that. So if you were to pick this up. For the shotgun trap, you would kind of need this like so. And then the barbecue will kind of fit off to the side here like this. Now if you were able to fit it correctly, and I actually tend to like to put the shotgun traps in first. You can actually get 2 shotgun traps in here. If you do this right. And one cool thing about this shotgun trap, and the reason I like this, is because you can still get the barbecue in here. Okay, it does fit. You need to play about a little bit. And you can get the box in here as well. Now the reason I like doing this, if I shut the door, you can see what I tend to do is have the shotgun trap poking through the door. If you do this, then if they come through this wall, that shotgun trap is still going to kill them and they can't kill it. So that shotgun trap, if it's poking through the door, will still kill them. Now let's say, for example, they come through the roof and they jump down, they're going to have to come through the wall. They can't do anything. Because what would happen at this stage is they would jump down into this area here through the roof, and they've got this door to come through. They can't just crawl down. But also, you can't jump up. You'd have to remove the door to jump up. But we don't need to do that right now. But later, we'll use this as a way up. So this is a really nice little area here. And we've got this open area. And what we're going to do with this is we're going to build another half wall. We're going to build a square floor. We're going to remove the half wall. And we're going to build another double door. We can upgrade this to stone. And we can put that door down. Now we have a loot room. So because we had our boxes before, we can now add more boxes. Depending on the type of box you've got, depends on how you will lay this out. If you paid for the downloadable content and you've got the barrels, I recommend 3 barrels down the left and 1 at the back. You can fit 4 in here. Otherwise, you kind of just need to kind of fit these as and where you can. But you can fit the boxes in here. You just need to play about with them, move them about. But this becomes a loot room for you. Personally, I think the much better way to do this is a barrel. And again, it depends because these do cost money. You have to buy this as a downloadable content. But if you have it, let's just imagine you've bought the barrels. You can come in here, and the way that I do this is underneath. You have to kind of come from this side here. You can fit one straight away if you're careful. You can fit one really close to the wall. And that's what you want to do. You want to get one as close to this back wall as you possibly can. Once you've done that, you can fit the next one right up close to it. And then that will allow you to put a third one down. Now to do this, you will have to remove this door. but it will allow you to get a third one down. Once you've done that, you can put the door back on. Now, if you do it correctly, you will not see the barrel. You can just about see it there, but if it pokes out too far, you'll actually be able to open the barrel from here. You cannot put locks on barrels. Bear that in mind. You cannot put a lock on a barrel. But you can also now put a fourth one in here. If it doesn't work, remove the door. And that means you can do the same on the top, but it means you can now crawl in and access all 4 barrels, which means you can get 8 boxes. 8 boxes in here. Same on top. You would have to remove the door to get up. Once you've got a garage door, that's no longer a problem. You can just jump up. And you just do exactly the same thing on this side. Now, I'm not going to waste your time here, but you get the idea that you can put these here like so. And again, if you're really careful in how you do this, this top one you might need to do from on top here. Just bear that in mind. But if you're careful, you can do it. Now I'm going to show you the example this time. I'm going to stick this one out too far. So now you can see how I can open this and it sticks through the door. And it also kind of tells people you've got a loot room here. So try your best to, you can get it so that they're not seen. And with a garage door, depending on the way that you rotate the garage door, you can hide them completely. So just bear that in mind. So now we have a loot room. We have a furnace room. We can now, if we want to create an additional loot room, we can come in here. We can pick up our sleeping bag. We could, at this point, leave our tier 1 workbench there. We don't need it. But we should be looking at this point to get the tier 2 workbench. That's kind of where we're going to be at now in this game. So if we look at workbench tier 2, craft that. Okay, so now the way I like to place this is I like to place this down just here. You can do what you want, but I place mine just here. If you've got the small boxes, you can actually craft 2 small boxes now. And you can actually place these underneath, just for additional storage if you need it. Okay, and then you've got this room here. Now, you could remove this. You could also remove this at this point. And if you wanted to, you could now put in a floor triangle. A floor triangle will go in here, and then you can put more boxes in here. Now, I just tend not to do this. You could, if you need more storage. I don't do it because it makes it awkward to get in and out of this room. I simply just put some boxes on the floor. So I would at this point pick this up. I mentioned to you that I use barrels. So at this point, all I would simply do is I would have a barrel here, another barrel here. You can fit more barrels in here, so I would have another barrel in here. And then, again, if this door is shut, or you might even need to remove the door to get these in, but you can get another 2 barrels in here. So you can have 5 barrels in total. And for me, that's more than enough. And then this becomes my main loot storage for now. But again, there's other ways that you can do this. Another way you could do it if you wanted to, is you could put in a... if you took the tool cupboard out, so later on, there is the opportunity to remove the tool cupboard and put it upstairs. If you did that, you could put in exactly the same as you've got here, which is a 4 and a 4. And that's what I tend to do. I tend to turn this into a 4 and a 4 with a shelf later on. So, but not for now. That's your base for now. That is everything you need to comfortably progress. You should at this point also have garage doors. So we're just going to replace for garage doors. Now, if we look at the tier 2 workbench, this is where we start to look at hoodies. Hoodies are important because they're going to protect you, as are boots and road sign kits. So getting to these items, you have to go through the hazmat, but getting boots, coffee can helmet, road sign kit, road sign kilt, gloves, and a hoodie, along with the trousers from the tier 1, that is your armor. You also really want to get med pens. So for survivability, that's really important. You don't need to worry about electronics, so we leave the battery for now because we don't need car stuff. We don't need electronics for now, and we don't need any of this. Later we'll look back at this, but for now we don't need it. So all we focus on after we've got our armor is we come down this route here. If you can get to Molotov cocktails quickly enough, if you find one, I highly recommend you research it. Because at the start of the game, before people upgrade to sheet metal, you can do a molly raid if they've got wooden doors. So doing this, getting here as quickly as possible allows you to go and halt other people's progress. You're also going to be wanting to come down here to get better guns. So this is where you can start to get the Thompson or 5.56 ammo and a SAR. But again, this is going to take a lot to get here. In terms of garage doors, you'll want to come down to this salvage pickaxe and come this way. And then you want to go through these items to here. The garage door. This is what you really want at the starting point before you log off. So unless you're going to roam around, if you're going to roam, go for gear. If you want to fight and you need guns, go down this road. If you want to raid people, get the mollies. If you want to protect yourself, get this garage door. At the same time, I recommend it's quite good to get this, because you're going to be almost here anyway. I would come down and get the triangle ladder hatch as well. The reason I would do that is because now you can pick up this door. You can also pick up this door. This door. And I'm going to take the locks off them now, but you'd obviously have to do this as well. Open the door. And now you've got your garage doors, so we can now replace these. Now, you can choose the garage door to go one of two ways. You can tell that by the roller at the top, either in or out. Doesn't really matter what way you go. If it's going to be a square, it's much better. Because on a triangle, if I put this down on a triangle, so I'm just going to place this, let me just place this here like this. If I open this door, you can see the garage door sticks out. So now, if someone's going to raid me, they know instantly, they know I've got a garage door. They don't even need to get any further. They know there's a garage door through there. They might stop. But if I have it facing the other way, for example, so let's face it that way, it can no longer be seen. Now, the problem I have here is that it is being seen from the outside, and that's because we haven't done our honeycomb yet. Once you've got the base to this point, and you'll probably do this before you get garage doors, to be honest. Before you get garage doors, you'll want to honeycomb your base. Very important to do that, and I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So let me just take these doors off. Also, it's very awkward when you're opening these doors because they get in the way, so having garage doors does make it a lot easier and a lot nicer. So, can you see how this barrel sticks out here? You see how the barrel sticks out, but if I face it the other way, it doesn't. So you have the choice with a garage door. So always make it so that it doesn't stick out. Now, if I close this, the bottom one, you'll notice I did the bottom one perfectly. You can't see it. The top one, you can't access it, but it does still stick through. So people can still see that there's a barrel there. Okay. Now, you've done everything that you need to do in this base to secure it. It's now pretty secure. And we're confident. We've got one more garage door to put down. And that one we'll put here. We're confident now that we've protected ourselves in the best way possible. Put shotgun traps down where you can. And let's go outside. So now we need to honeycomb our base. The reason for that is because this is our tool cupboard right here. Somebody could just blow straight through this wall and they're into our tool cupboard. So what we do is to honeycomb, we use triangle foundations. And anywhere where there is a surface, we go around and we honeycomb just simply by adding an extra layer. And we do this all the way around except for the door. Once that's done, you need to upgrade all of this to stone. Now, for the purpose of speeding up this video as we move forward, I'm not going to upgrade it anymore. I'm going to assume you're going to do that. If I go to building plan, I can press X and I can automatically upgrade it. So now I'm going to go to a wall. I'm going to press R to rotate the wall and I'm going to place it. And then I'm also going to upgrade it as well. So we'll go around the whole base like this and we just put in walls. And the reason we do this is because this now requires them to blow through the honeycomb before they get to the base. Makes it a little bit stronger. Alright, now our base is honeycombed. What you must remember to do at this stage, it's very important you do this, what you must remember to do is go up top. Okay, so we're going to do that right now. So if you need to get on your roof, you can simply put a foundation down, put a half wall, jump on the half wall, and you can jump onto the roof and move around. So you can do this from the floor, you just need to place these first, but otherwise if you come up here, you need to be able to place these. The reason I did it this way is because I wanted to show you how to do the jump up. But I would typically put the, before you put the walls on, I would put the floor foundation, then I would put the roof foundation, upgrade that, and then put the walls on. Alright, there you go. So now we have a honeycomb base. Unfortunately, people can still get in, they can still get in through the top. So if they climb onto your base, they can blow through the top and go straight down. And if they have a rocket and they place rockets directly here, they can blow all of these at the same time. So they could open this whole base up just by hitting in this corner here and hitting multiple at the same time. So just bear that in mind, that if someone's going to hit, they will probably hit here. Right, so that being said, we're going to come back down. I'm going to remove these parts, and our base now is secure. I can comfortably log off. Well, I wouldn't log off at this stage because of the roof, but I could log off if I needed to and feel a bit better about myself. But what we're going to do is the next level of upgrades. So you've progressed a little bit further. You're ready to go again. What we now need to do is you'll need to jump up here. Now, ideally at this point, you'll have a jackhammer. With a jackhammer, you just sit here and you can just delete this roof. And now you're onto your roof. What we're now going to do is we're going to extend out the base. So the first thing we want to do, and there's two ways to do this, but what I recommend doing is you want to do the honeycomb. So we're going to start with a honeycomb, which means you do need quite a bit of stone to be able to do this. Okay? Just bear that in mind. So we do the honeycomb all the way around the outside, the whole way, except for, there we go, all the way around like so. Now what we're going to do is we're going to leave this bit open. Okay, we're going to seal all the rest of the honeycomb in, but we're going to leave that one piece open. And the way that I like to do this, just so I don't forget, is I put a triangle frame here. And it's the one opposite this jump up. In fact, I put a triangle frame here as well now. So now you've got a triangle frame here, and you've got a triangle frame on the other side. If you do that, then you won't make a mistake. It's quite important to be able to do that, okay? Alright, so now we're going to, everything else is going to be sealed in, alright? So then we go for our wall. Make sure that we keep the soft side on the inside this time. Now we're not going to wall this one, but we're going to wall all of the honeycomb. Okay. So now we're honeycombed in here, and we have this area. This will become a door frame. So we'll put a door frame down here, and we can put a garage door down. Now we can seal in the rest of the floor. So this one is going to be square and square. There's a square here. We've only got 3 squares, and the rest is triangle. Okay. So now, if we shut this door, we now have an upstairs, which is nice. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put another wall down just here, like so. And then I'm going to use door frames. So I'm going to door frame everything. I'm going to have one here, and I'm going to have one here, and one here. And actually, sorry, I'm going to have another wall here, like so. Okay. Then I can put garage doors down. So I can have a garage door there, garage door here, and one here. Again, it's going to take you a while to get the resources for all of this, but you've now got this upstairs area. Now, if you wanted to, at this stage, what you can do is you can actually move your tool cupboard upstairs. If you do that, what you would need to do is you would need to destroy this tool cupboard. So that's the first thing you would need to do. And then you don't need to do this, it's an option. But if you wanted to, you can now put a tool cupboard. Actually need to craft a new one. Okay, one tool cupboard. And I can now put that here. Next to that, what I tend to do when I get it, and it depends when it's available, is you'll get a large battery. At this point, you can start, if you've acquired one, great. Otherwise, if you go into your electronics later, you can put this down. But I tend to put, at this point, a large battery down here. So this is where I would have anything that's really important, like electricals or anything like that. I would put them in this room. You might want to put like a box in here as well. If you want to, you can do that. But this would just kind of be my... And you probably have shotgun traps as well and other things. Okay. So right now, this room is kind of done as we need it. So we can leave that now. But we do need to protect it from above. So what we're going to do at this stage, because you're going to be getting ready to upgrade now. All of this can now become sheet metal. Because you should be at a point where you should be a lot stronger. Where you can start to upgrade this. Now, always do the floor first, and you're also going to want to do this floor as well. The reason we don't do this before is because, obviously, it's a lot harder to get rid of sheet metal, and we need to break this part, so that's why we leave it as stone for now. But now you can definitely upgrade all of this to sheet metal. Doing the floors, I recommend the floors as a starting point. But there you go. That's all now done. So if we come down here, this is all now sheet metal. And you'll also want to upgrade your core. So your core is really important. So this is one of your core rooms. So we're going to upgrade this one to sheet metal. Also, we talked about moving the boxes. Now, I don't really need to do this right now, but you remember how we talked about doing this. So you can do 4 in there. We can put this wall in. Now, the reason we can snap this wall and it fits is because it snaps onto this triangle that we put in. So that's why that works. So you can do it however you want to do it. I tend to do it actually the other way. I don't do it this way. So I don't know why I've done it this way now. I tend to do it this way. And the reason for that, and I'll explain why in a minute, is because you're going to need to get something in there. So, okay, then we can have another one here. One here. And this is why I love these boxes. Again, really, really easy to be able to do this. Now, I'm not going to waste time and make this perfect, but you do get the idea. So now you've got a second loot room. Make sure you upgrade this as well. Okay, now at this point, you'll also want to upgrade this frame. And I just go around and do all the frames at this point. And the reason for that is because the frame is 500, but the garage door is 600. So the frame is actually weaker. So it's much better at this stage, once you've got garage doors, to upgrade those. I don't bother with these, because even if I upgraded this, the door is weaker. So there's no point upgrading this at this point. Not while I've got this door. There's just no point doing this right now. Because if I upgrade this to sheet metal, yes, it's going to be sheet metal, but they can still come through this door, which is only 250. So there's just no point upgrading this. But this wall you can upgrade. This floor you can upgrade. So they can't come through the foundations. You can do all of this floor. And you can do all of these walls as well. And this way, this is the core. And so what we're doing now is this is called upgrading the core. And we're just making it so if they do raid us, they go through the stone outside. And the reason we do this one is because it's a wall. There's no door here. So we can do that one. So now our core is sheet metal. We can come upstairs. We don't need to do this because it's going to be a hatch. There's no point doing that one. We will do this one and this one. And we'll do the same here as well. So once we jump up, we'll do that. And this is, again, the next kind of progression. So everything here is done in stages. Okay, got this one to do. This one. And then these walls. Okay. Now, what you could do at this stage, you could, if you wanted to, upgrade this one to armoured, if you wanted to. And the reason you might want to do that is because if someone was to break through here, let's say they come through this way, they come through this garage door, right, they're met with another garage door. But they see this is armoured. Well, they might think this is important. And so they might tend to blow through here and waste their boom, and if they do, they're going to come into this empty room. Which is, it's more of a mind tactic, mind trick. But if you do upgrade this to armoured, and you come in and see an armoured door, you think, well, what are they hiding behind here? And actually, you're not hiding anything. So it's possibly a way to create mind games. But you need to make sure it's facing this way. Alright, so now we come back in. Let's shut everything down for now. Just so that you can see how secure this base can become. Now, when you get a ladder hatch, you can put a ladder hatch in here. But if you don't have a ladder hatch, you can simply just leave it like this. This is fine. If you get a ladder hatch, and I'll show you what that looks like. So, triangle ladder hatch. Again, only if you get one. But you can actually place that in here like so. Don't forget to put a lock on it. But now, you've got a garage door. So they'd have to blow through the garage door. And if they're coming down specifically, they'd have to blow through the ladder hatch, which you can then use to get up. Now, at this point, you could, if you wanted to, pick this out. I don't pick this out because I like it because it's got the shotgun traps, which could still kill them. But you can still use it like so. It's just an extra layer. Yeah? Okay. So now what we're going to want to do, also, again, you might, if you wanted to upgrade this to armoured, that is also possible. Because this is now your tool cupboard, so this is obviously an important room. So once you get to the point, you will want to do this. But just bearing in mind that on the roof now, they can see that's armoured. You might also want to upgrade the rooms down here. Now, you don't have to. We'll do this one because we forgot it. That's sheet metal. You might also want to make this one armoured because this is going to be your main loot room. So it does make sense to have that armoured as well. And then depending if you want it or not, you might want to do this one as armoured. This is going to make it a bit more expensive. So if you're absolutely flush and you've got lots and lots of money at this point and you don't care, then yes, you can make this one armoured as well. And that way your loot rooms are now armoured. Obviously those boxes wouldn't be sticking out. We need to put the thing on the other way around. But this kind of gives you the idea. So now you have a really solid base. At this point, you're probably going to be getting ready to get to tier 3, at which point you just simply replace this base. So you can pick this one up, put your tier 3 down instead. And now I can come upstairs. And anything extra that I've got that I need to place, but I don't have a real home for it, your research table, you've got your tier 1 workbench, your repair table, all of that can kind of just fit in here as and where you need it. So you can put like a research table here, you can put like a workbench here, you can put a mixing table in here. You know, you get the idea. You can put like, oh, won't let me put any more of those down, but you get the idea. So you can put all of those in here. All right, so now let's look at the next level of progression. So, I mean, that's pretty much, that will do you for wipe. You're pretty good at this point. You don't need to do any more. If you're going to keep expanding though, and you want to go up another level, we can do that. I'm going to put in exactly what I did before. So, oh, I didn't actually do it here, which is my mistake. So you want to put in, before you put in this this wall here, so let's just take this out. You want to make sure you put in that half wall. I actually forgot to do that. It doesn't matter because you can actually attach it from the outside and do it that way. It's just a little bit harder. Then you can put in more shotgun traps. Again, always good to have shotgun traps. So I tend to have a couple of them down here like so. And if you have them poking through the wall, even better. And then if you've got a ladder hatch and you want to use a ladder hatch, you can go ahead and do that as well. Okay, so now you've got that done. We're going to jump up onto the roof. Now, you need to be careful you don't get pushed down. This can happen. And if you do, you end up getting stuck here. So just bear that in mind, that sometimes it's good to have a hammer down there to stop you getting caught. So open a ladder hatch, jump up, and then up you go. All right, so now we're up onto our base, okay? Onto the roof of our base. Now we're going to do the next level. Now, as you see, it's pretty obvious here that this is important at this point. So you want to kind of put up another level here, right? So the way that we do that, and you don't actually need to honeycomb the next level. It's not important. But what we are going to do is we are going to build another level here, okay? And we're going to build it like so. Now, this one will honeycomb because this is our way up. And then what we're going to do is we're actually going to put a door down just here like this. Okay. Now what this is going to allow us to do, now depending on how we do this as well, it's very important that you consider how we do this, like how you level up here. We're going to want to, the whole purpose of this area here is for our heli. So if we have a heli, we're going to want to put our heli down. So we're going to need a way to get our heli. So it really depends. Now we want to obviously protect this roof. This is important. So we do want to protect this roof. And we want to make sure we've got an area to store our heli, right? That's important as well. So how you do this, there's no right or wrong way. It really depends on how you want to build it. But I tend to do it like this. It really varies from build to build. But you've got an area to land here, and then you can push the heli in, and you've got an open area. All right, so you can do it however you want. Again, there's no right or wrong way to do this. But you just have to consider that when you're building, especially when you're coming up from this point, that you want to be able to protect this. This is the important room that you need to protect. Okay, so this room definitely needs to be covered. But the most important thing here, is really to ensure that when you have your area protected, you have this, because that's your jump up, which is why it's important that this is covered, because you'd also then have a double door on here as well. Do that however you want, but there you go. That's now your jump up for this roof access. But you want to protect this. So this is really what you're protecting at this stage. So the wall here protects this, which is kind of where your heli's going to land. Now, what you could do at this point is you could quite simply just do it like this. And you could wall off here if you wanted to. And you could wall off like this. But you do need an area for that heli to come down and to land. So however you're going to do it. And it does help to have the two spaces. So whilst you could do the wall like this, and it's totally possible to do that, I like to have it a little bit wider. Now, you can go like this. Instead, you can come out like this. And you could have it here like this. However you want. Remove this wall. There's no right or wrong way to do this. But ultimately, you do want this to be protected. It is very important that this is protected. So if they do come in here, what I would tend to do at this point is I would just, because you don't need this, and a way that you can do this, another way you can do this, is you can do a half wall here. Okay? And you can then put that down. And then you can do half walls again. So if you really, really wanted to protect this and give like a double honeycomb on the roof, you can do that. It looks like a normal wall, but it's not. Okay, and if people blow into this, if they're clever and they blow into this, then they've still got to go through the floor. But this area now, and depending on how you want to do it, depends how it opens up. Again, there's so many different options that you have here. There's no right or wrong answer to it. You might decide that you want to put the door here. You might want to do this like this. And then you've got a whole upstairs area here. And then we can simply just seal everything in. And you can start to get creative at this point. But now you could land on here. And if you don't feel comfortable landing on here, let's just say you're not feeling that confident at your ability to land a heli, then you could simply just build out a little bit. And you could build a nice little heli landing pad. So now you have a nice little heli landing pad. You can bring it in here. And you've got this. Now, if you really, really wanted to, you could put this down here. So you've got that. Just bear in mind that there's nothing below it. And you could do this. Again, there's no right or wrong way to do this. Now you've got a massive area up here. So again, something else is possible. And you could, if you wanted to, upgrade this to sheet metal. I mean, I wouldn't, because there's nothing underneath this if you... Oh no, sorry, I apologise. There's honeycomb here. So yeah, you could upgrade that to sheet metal if you wanted to. You don't really need to at this point, though. But you could do, because then it confuses people. They don't know what's underneath it. They might just blow into honeycomb. But chances are, if they're going to blow at this point, this is the weakest point where they'll blow. Either here or here. Okay, so now you've kind of got another base, another layer. And you can leave that here. You've got, now if you've got a heli, great. Now you've got this. So you've got a heli area here. You can do more stuff here, put more stuff here. And you've also got another exit. So you've got the ability to, you could maybe put windows up here if you wanted to. Again, do whatever you want. If you wanted to go up another level, yet again, you could do that. And then you could start to build a heli tower. I'm not going to do that in this video, but you could actually build a heli tower. In fact, I will just quickly give you the idea of a heli tower, because it's important to understand. If you want to take heli in the game, one of the things that you'll need to do to take heli is you'll need to build a heli tower. All right, I will just show you this. So let's just build a frame so that we can build up. Again, you can do this kind of wherever you want. There's no right or wrong answer to this. But the way that I would tend to do a heli tower, very simple, is like so. So we would have an area like this. And then from here, and to be honest, I would probably do the ladder hatch. If I was going to do this, and if I was thinking about this, the best way to do it, I would probably board this up normally. And I would probably put a ladder hatch in somewhere like here. So this you would require the other ladder hatch at this point, but I'm just going to assume you've got it. Okay, so now we'll put a square frame in instead. And to be honest, if you're going to be taking heli, you're probably quite advanced in the game to the point where you'll have this anyway. So now we can do this ladder hatch. So now we can jump up here. And that way, we don't actually need this now. And that means we can just seal this whole thing in. Which is nice. And now we can work our way up. Now, you don't need another one in here. You can just do steps at this point to go up. And you can keep your steps wooden, that's fine. But I'd probably go up a couple at least. Put another floor down. And put some more steps down. Okay, and don't forget you need to build your walls as you go up. Now, if you put the steps down first, you should be okay. But sometimes it can be a little bit funny and not let you upgrade. Alright, so now we've got to this point. We'll put another floor down. Okay, now we've got the floor. We're going to want to come out, okay? So, from here, what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to come outside. So, the way that we do this is We build around here like so. Oh. If these ones don't fit because there's no stability, you have to do this part first, and then these will attach to it. Like so. Alright, so now we have our floor. Now we're going to want windows. So the way you do your windows is one here, one here, one here, and one here. And then the rest is walls. And this is your heli tower. Now, this whole thing needs to be sheet metal, not stone. That is because the heli will rocket you. And... Oh, sorry. The reason that won't work is because I haven't done the walls yet. So you have to do the walls in the middle here. Very important to do this for stability. Okay, once that's done, we'll put a frame in here, and then this will be a garage door. Doesn't have to be a garage door. It could actually just be a normal door, but I'll just do a garage door anyway. And then we can do the roof. So roof will now connect to those two bits. Which will mean that. And we can go around and put the roof on. Okay. This is our heli tower. Now you will want to put bars on here so that people can't just jump in. But if they do jump in, they're not going to do anything anyway. Because, let's be honest, they'll be able to see in and they can see there's a garage door there. There's nothing there. They know it's a heli tower. Anyone's going to understand this as a heli tower. And that's it. That's your base. And that's everything you kind of need to know. I appreciate this has been a long video, but there is your base. Now, I don't know why I did that one wood. That was a mistake. Again, the heli tower itself and all of this would be sheet metal. Everything else can just be stone. But everything above would be sheet metal at this point. Okay, a little bit of lag there. I don't know why it wasn't upgrading, but... And then if you do get window bars, you'll put the window bars on as well. That will just stop people getting in. You don't want to leave any loot or anything in there. If you leave any loot, I would leave it in the main chute. Normally what I would do is put a locker down, and I'll show you the locker placement in a moment. Don't forget the roof as well. You don't need to upgrade this part though, that's fine. You can just upgrade this part and then that's it. And that is your base done. And the reason that I'm just finishing this off is I want to show you the total upkeep of the entire base once it's finished. Now I appreciate this is a long video. The purpose of this video is not just to help you with the creative mode, but to give you a base design. So this base design is a base that will... I've never been raided with this. In a solo server, I've been able to build this every time. I've never been raided. And it's very comfortable to live out of. You can live out of it as a solo or a duo very comfortably. It's convenient, it's easy, it's got everything that you need. And again, never done me wrong. You've got heli access there. This is obviously empty. People aren't going to know where to come in or where to raid or what to do. Now again, you don't necessarily need these extra bits if you don't want them. You can just leave it like this. I don't know why we did that one as... Oh, because that was for in here. Yeah, we don't need to do that one as... that one can just stay stoned. But you probably want to honeycomb this bit, to be honest, anyway. So if you did want to do that, the way that I would do it is you would... If you wanted to put an extra layer of honeycomb on here, is you could do it like that. Then you could upgrade this part, because now no one's going to see it. And then obviously you'd want to put the honeycomb on here like so. Okay, so you could do an extra layer of honeycomb, but then that means you've got no honeycomb on the bottom. So you might, at this point, want to put an extra airlock on here. Just one more airlock. Again, it's a lot of airlocks, and I appreciate that. You might not want to do this, but you could, at this point, just do one extra final airlock. Just to get into your base. And what I tend to do at this point, I tend to put a step there, and then I kind of put some steps up. And that's my little base. And that's it finished. That's how it looks when I'm done. Now you do have this area here, which again, you don't need this part. I tend not to do this. You could, obviously, if you wanted to. But I tend not to. I tend to just leave it like that. I will obviously, because you'll need to put some so this one for me would stay stone. This one will also stay stone because this is just honeycomb, so it doesn't really matter at this point. And then you just have the walls on here. That's how I tend to leave mine, and then I don't have these on here either. It's just a little bit cheaper in terms of upkeep. So that's actually how the finished base looks for me. It looks just like that. Again, very important that you do this part, because inside here, not in here, but as you come down here, this is where your tool cupboard is. Again, very hard for people to find that. They could go straight through here into this armoured. So if they did blow through here, through this side, if they decided to come through here, then they are going to find it. But the chances of them knowing to blow in that area is quite rare. If they go through any other point, they're going to struggle. But they could get TC if they find it and they blow in through that way. It's hard to know. Like when they're summing up the base and they're eyeing it up and they're thinking, where do I go through? You know, it's difficult to decide. They do have to just pick a point and go. They're more likely to go for a point like this, where they can take out these two walls and these two walls. They might also go here like this. So it is possible that they do this. So you might possibly consider putting in some extra foundation, some extra honeycomb here and here. You don't have to do this. Oh, sorry, that's the wrong one. You don't have to do this, but just bear in mind that if you don't, it's possible. I'm not saying you will get into trouble for it, but it's gonna cost extra to do this. But yeah, you might just want to put just that extra little bit of honeycomb in here, because again, if they come through here, they are going to be able to get through. So yeah, that and that there and there. And then you'll just want to seal that off there. And then you don't need to seal this part off, but I guess if you really, really wanted to, you could. It is a lot of extra honeycomb and it will increase the cost of your base, but it will protect you just that little bit more. So if you get to that stage where you feel like you want that extra layer of protection, then this is really, really going to sort of strengthen that and bolster that TC area. But again, it's going to really affect the running cost of everything. So, but this at that point will give you that extra bit of protection, and then the rest of it will be triangled in. Okay, so we've kind of got everything we need at this stage. Our base is definitely looking good. It's looking fortified. And that's all that we need. Oh, and of course, we would need to put the walls back on here. I think we lost the floor here. No, we didn't. Okay, cool. So that's the base. And that's maximum base. But again, I typically wouldn't do this. I would hope that they just wouldn't get in. I mean, if they're going in that way and they happen to go in and find it, then that's just very unfortunate. But I would typically think that they wouldn't find it going in that way. So I don't feel like that's needed. But you would want to have this one here. All right. So I think that works just fine as a base. It's a good layout. It works well. All right, let's look at the running cost of what this base costs to upkeep, shall we? So we're going to where the tool cupboard is. Tool cupboard is just in here. Open this up. So the cost of this base is 54 high quality metal, for just under 3,000 metal frags and 4,000 stone, which is very doable as a solo player. Very doable as a solo player. It's a low upkeep base and it gives you everything that you need. Again, if you wanted to just increase this area here, again, this is your weakness, this room here. Okay, so if I come out, it's this area here. So this is the only bit where if they were to rocket in here. So in fact, let me just show you this now. So we'll take off no clip. Okay. And now what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of everything that we've got here, because we've now built the base. This video, I appreciate this is a long video, but I wanted to give you this. Now, raiding is, like, this whole game is around survivability. And so the concept of this game is about how do you survive. And building a strong base is how you survive. Okay, so if I now get a rocket launcher, I'll just grab myself a couple of them. And let's just go for a few rockets. Alright. So survivability is all about how do I survive. So if I'm here and I'm like, how do I break into this base? Let's say I go direct, quickest method. So quickest method is going to be right here. I'm going to blow through this point right here, okay? Now if I do decide to blow through this point right here, and you need to kind of look at where the cross of the 4 sections are, so just there. You see how I can open up that entire section like that? See how I've opened up the core? Just from those 2 rockets I've opened up the core. It's that simple. And now they're going to have to go into armoured, at which point the quickest way in is going to be like this. Now, you would obviously use C4 at this point because it's going to cost a lot of rockets, but this is a weakness to this base, and it's important that you know the weakness so that you can protect against it. I do recommend, if you've got the ability to, and if you're a duo, definitely add that extra layer of honeycomb here on this side, just so that they can't come in, because the whole base could be lovely, but it could be ruined just from this. The other thing you can consider is you could move the TC. Again, you don't need the TC on the bottom floor, you can move it upstairs. That helps if they're coming through doors, but if they're going to rocket in, they're going to find it regardless, because this way, which you're about to see, I've got a few more rockets to go. This is the most efficient way to raid this base. Now, there's no guarantee that people are going to find this weakness, unless they've watched this video. You need to just mix it up a little bit. And there you go. You're into not only the main loot room, but the TC room. And that's how easy and quick it is to get in. So just bear that in mind. This is the side of the base, which if you're looking at where you first come in, okay, you've got your first honeycomb, and then it's going to be your second 2 layers of honeycomb here and here. This whole area needs to be protected as much as possible. If this is going to be your main loot, and where you keep your main loot, that's how easy it is to get in. And they could just take that and leave the rest of the base. They don't even need to touch the rest of the base. At that point, they would probably do C4, but rockets is better because it gives you access to the TC as well. Now, if they were to C4 the armoured, they might get the main loot, they might not. They might not get TC, it depends. But if they're going to rocket in is, because rocket gives you the splash damage, which is the better way to go in. But not everyone's going to be able to do that or think about doing that. But if they do, that's how quick and easy they can get in. I would typically, from the armoured core, have a sheet metal foundation around the armoured core. So you'd have armoured core with sheet metal honeycombing and then stone honeycomb. If you built that, that's the ideal way to do it. So you would need to do that around here. So yeah, just bear that in mind. Alright, that being said, that's the base tour, that's the base design, that's everything you need. You know how it works and how to build it. Enjoy your wipe. Thanks for watching.